All right, everybody. Welcome back for another one. And I wanted to finally get back to you guys with a portfolio update. A lot of people have been asking me. So I put together a fairly extensive one and just going over the percentages and everything, but also giving you a few reasons as to why I'm invested in each thing, right? Very brief stuff, but I think it should definitely catch your attention if you haven't already seen some of the facts I'll give you. So let's get started. Over here on the left, my biggest holding technically is XRP. When in reality, though, I actually have more financial exposure to Ethereum, but that's all in my IRA based in the Grayscale Trust. So it's hard to find some good investments in the traditional markets that are crypto based. So right now, I just parked all the money pretty much in Ethereum. I think Ethereum's still fairly undervalued for this year. I think it could end up, somewhere in the $5,000 to $10,000 range by the time the year's done. Could be wrong, but that's what I'm expecting. All right. So when it comes to crypto specifically, XRP sits at 25% roughly in my portfolio, with Stellar being right there next to it. All right. I have the same amount of units of each. I did that because I think they're both going to be winners, and I didn't want to try and pick which one's going to win more so than the other, so I'll just have both. All right. Following up right behind that is XDC. So this was a lot smaller in my portfolio just a little while back. It's almost gained 10 times in value since I purchased it. So it's been one of the best performers, and that's why it sits there at number 3. Right, been thinking about reducing some and moving it down into some potentially more undervalued projects, in my opinion. But I think XDC still might be one of those even now. But next up, Hedera Hashgraph at 7%. That one's also moved its way up from the bottom. Flare. I don't technically have these yet, right? Because it hasn't came out. But what I did was record the amount I'm expected to get airdropped as soon as it launches, which is going to be 15% of the entire holdings. So technically, at its current valuation, if I were to receive all of those Flare at once, which is going to be distributed month after month over time. But anyway, if I had all of them that I'm expected to receive, it would actually be number 1 in the portfolio. So we'll see what comes out of that. But anyway, Icon, also got some of them. All grand, sitting at 5% right there with Icon. Cosmos, Energy Web token at 3%. VeChain, a little less than 3%. Over here on the right. Next, coming in after that at 2.4%. Elastos, 1.8%. Filda, 1.6%. So the story here is I had a lot more Elastos, but after it pumped, it basically tripled for me almost right after I bought it. So I reduced a lot of my position, paid off some debt that I had been holding for a while that I had used to invest. And then I also took the other half of that Elastos and put it in Filda because I'm doing the staking over there still, as I showed you guys how to do. So that's where it all sits. And then the rest of these, Suco, Foam, Request, XYO Network, Props, they're all just microcaps that are on Coinbase custody, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. And then finally, I bought some BitTrue coin. All right. So if you come down and look at the portfolio, honestly, you can see I try to keep these in order, relatively speaking, by ranking. In traditional finance, you're typically taught to heavily weight your portfolios in the large caps, right? Not sure that really plays out in crypto. Besides, so far you've seen with Bitcoin, if you had been mostly allocated to Bitcoin, you would have done very well up to this point. But anyway, I try to stay more allocated towards the top ones. XDC has moved its way up, like I said. Same with Hedera. But relatively speaking, just a few changes I can move around in here to kind of keep it all balanced how I want it. As you can see by ranking, it really starts to increase in ranking size towards the bottom in order, right? And as I've shown you right here, all these ones that I allocated just a little bit of speculative money to is because they're all on Coinbase custody, right? And later on, I'm going to try to put together some deep dives on each project. Suko will probably be the first one. I think this one has some good potential, so I'll talk about that one. All right, I also said there's some that I definitely want to add that I don't have right now. Quant and Singularity Net right now are two of those. Quant, specifically speaking, because it's very similar to XRP and Stellar, XDC. They're all kind of connected with working with the regulators and being compliant with ISO regulations and having Federal Reserve connections. So, and then Singularity Net is an AI project. So, one of the best, to my understanding. But all right, why? Why do I have this stuff? All right, just gonna give you a few reasons for each. Honestly, I think XRP should be obvious, and I think anyone who doesn't have any is kind of just overlooking reality, right? So as I was putting this together, this article just came out today, right? As I was researching, little things, few things to throw together for you guys. So just today, Ripple pilots a private ledger for central banks launching CBDCs. All right. Not going to read the whole article, but basically what they're doing is they're building this private ledger, which is it's designed for issuing currencies, with over 5,400 currencies issued on the XRP ledger over the past 8 years, including the native digital asset XRP, which can be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between CBDCs and other currencies. So XRP is the bridge asset in this world, right? But CBDCs can be issued, and now they're launching this private ledger, right? So that they don't have to display their transactions to the world, right? And I think this is exactly what central banks are going to want. They're going to want privacy when moving billions of XRP around. They don't want everyone knowing what they're doing, who they send it to, and so on, right? So I think, personally speaking, CBDCs are going to be the first real use case in crypto. The majority of the population is going to be using these CBDCs without even knowing it, right? They can be linked to your bank accounts. They don't have to tell you what technology they're using, or they could tell you and nobody's going to even care, all right? That's just how the population works. I'm sure you guys all know that when you try to talk to your friends and family about crypto. They just ignore you and stare at you like a deer in the headlights, right? But CBDCs, first real use case. Ripple is running the show there, along with Stellar, right? Gonna give you a few points there, as I've already talked about. USDC moved to Stellar. Why? I think because the Stellar blockchain is even faster than Ripple's, and I think it's designed to handle more microtransactions. I think Stellar is going to be the retail end, and Ripple is going to be the private kind of wholesale blockchain for central banks to use behind the scenes, right? Stellar, USDC is going to Stellar. Like I said, there's a Euro stablecoin being built on Stellar. Acoin by Acon is built on Stellar Network. It's going to be piloted in Africa, right? Moving on. So XDC is very interesting, right? So this article came out in October of last year. R3 Corda network set to go DeFi with XDC digital currency. So at the time, of course, everyone's looking, what is this XDC on CoinMarketCap? Well, supposedly the two are not the same thing, right? So R3 came out and said, we are not XDC in this Twitter post, but they said, turns out XFin official with their XDC is an awesome project. But for the avoidance of doubt, XFin and Cordite are separate projects, all right? But as people speculate in the comments, this is a little strange, and people are wondering if someone might have accidentally let the cat out of the bag, right? Because they're basically partners, right? And if you come over to Cordite Foundation, right on their website, they got XFin right there talking about how their XDC token's about to go live on Corda. But then, they clarified in the news saying that they've changed the token name of the one that they're building for this DeFi. But who knows? The DeFi one that they build could end up running on the XDC platform, similar to XRP and Flare, right? Who knows? But I just find it odd that this came out and then they're like, oh, no, we're just, we're not associated. But then right on their foundation website, they're there, right? So who knows? All right, what else we got? Hedera Hashgraph. So UK hospitals are using blockchain to track the temperature of coronavirus vaccines, right? So they are using tech developed by UK firm Everywhere and US organization Hedera Hashgraph. Everywhere uses sensors to monitor the equipment in real time, while the Hedera blockchain consortium is recording the information, which is backed by the likes of Google and IBM. So Hedera is being used in actual real use cases. The government's basically another one, Hedera Hashgraph, to be used for crowdsourced airstrike warning app in Syria. So this came out in November of last year. Basically, there's a little app that the citizens can download to know if they're about to get hit with an airstrike. And they were using Ethereum, but they said they switched to Hedera because the platform functions better, basically, more efficient. Flare. Flare is a no-brainer to me, right? I'll continue to hold mine as they come out because it's bringing DeFi to the XRP ledger. What else needs to be said? It's going to run fast and efficient like XRP. There's not going to be fees. They already got Litecoin coming to the project, Dogecoin, Stellar, and those are all ones that you can wrap as F tokens and stake on the platform, right? So Flare's bringing DeFi to XRP. That's why it's bullish. Not much needs to be said. Algorand teams up with crypto custodian Curve for trusted DeFi. All right, so this was just at the end of January this year. And then just yesterday, PayPal to buy crypto custody firm Curve. So Curve is teamed up with Algorand and PayPal is going to buy them. Right, and Curve is being used by iTrust Capital. Don't need to overthink that one. Cosmos. Well, Cosmos is bullish because they have a massive ecosystem compared to Ethereum and other similar platforms. They're highly undervalued, right? So their ecosystem's big, but the market cap doesn't really reflect it compared to others like a Cardano at 40-something billion, or Ethereum, I forget what it's at now at this point, but they're just massive. I think Cosmos has room to grow, and both Algorand and Cosmos are one of the few that you can stake on Coinbase. That's no coincidence either. As the herd comes in, and Coinbase IPOs over $100 billion, and people go to see what's on their platform, everyone likes passive income. So they'll start looking at the staking ones. All right. Why Energy Web? So the XRP Ledger Foundation, Ripple, and Energy Web announced world's first decarbonized blockchain. Right? So Ripple partnered with Energy Web to build this carbon neutral EW0 blockchain, right? And what's the theme right now? Well, a major Chinese Bitcoin mining hub is shutting down its cryptocurrency operations. China's Inner Mongolia region plans to ban new crypto mining projects and shut down existing activity in a bid to cut down on the energy consuming operation. Right? So, like I've said, the theme is carbon emissions with proof of work crypto, and you have other stuff like this going on with Energy Web and Ripple. And then also, Energy Web is partnered with a lot of big companies, right? Most of these I don't even recognize, but you got Duke Energy there from the US, GE, Genesis, think that's a DeFi project in crypto. Got Shell in there, Siemens, and then all these other ones that I'm sure maybe some of you guys recognize, right? So there you have it, Energy Web, right? Sure, you're getting it now. The theme for me is enterprise use. Are people actually even talking about using the platforms, or are they just hype coins? Another one, VeChain. So if you want to go check my Twitter, this guy posted a super thread talking about some reasons to be bullish on VeChain, and I thought this was a great starting place for people that want to learn. So I'm not going to deep dive it with you, but there's a few, right? Over 300 Italian agriculture companies adopt VeChain's blockchain, right? And there's Sunny Lu meeting with the Italian Prime Minister to talk about this stuff. And then also VeChain recognized by German government for smart supply chain management, right? So go read this thread if you have more interest. I'm not going to read all of them. But VeChain is bullish. Nash Exchange, the one everyone likes to troll me about and say it's dead, which is fine. But Nash's potential is there, especially as we move into this compliance stuff, like, right, KYC, AML. Well, Nash is the first registered digital security in all of Europe, right? They've been compliant since the beginning. And just the pure concept of what they have going cannot be found anywhere else in crypto, right? So this basically, you're holding the Nash token as a security. You get paid the fees from the exchange, right? So right now, 1000X doesn't do much for you, right? It does about $2 a month, right? But their volume has been steadily growing. But 1000X is only about $1,000. So hypothetically speaking, if you bought 1000X and later on it got to Binance volume, then you'd get paid $29,000 a month in dividends as the exchange continues to move on. All right. Coinbase volume would get you about 4,500 a month. All right, Uniswap, but just came out, $1,000 would get you $636 a month. Uniswap just came out, pretty much, right? Potential is there, definitely. Not only that, Nash, you can integrate with Uniswap. It's already a decentralized exchange, and it's the only decentralized exchange that you can trade actual Bitcoin on and not wrapped Bitcoin. They also have channels, like I said, you can integrate with Uniswap on the actual Nash exchange and swap back and forth from crypto on there. All right, so they're very unique. I think it's not getting a lot of hype right now because it does have KYC, and people use decentralized exchanges to avoid that, right? But once they put regulations in place, it will force people into exchanges like this. And to me, what they've built is long lasting, right? It's not new hype train, jump on and get in there and make some money. No, it's like, okay, they built a real product and they plan for the future. Nash is also partnered with some banks in Europe as well. Have the Nash card coming out. They're the only decentralized exchange, to my understanding, that you can actually link a bank account to. So there's big things coming for them. They're just fast or slow developing because they're actually trying to be compliant. They're not trying to leapfrog regulations all over the world. So it's more prominent in Europe, but still working to be here in the US. Plenty of reasons to take a shot at Nash. Pretty much the easiest one for me is this staking thing. Because not only are these dividends, they're not paid to you in dollars, they're paid to you in every single crypto that's traded on the platform. So as you hold the shares, you can just let that thing sit and it'll just build you a nice portfolio of whatever's being traded on there. And as that stuff continues to grow, so does your net worth. So, very interesting concept, right? Realize I skipped over Icon. I'm not going to deep dive it either, but here's one right here. Icon Loop secures government backing to test blockchain driver's license project. So they're working with the government as well. Icon is very big in Korea. Looks to be like Korea's leading public blockchain platform, getting government backing and so on. And they also have DeFi and everything else coming to them. So it's kind of like Korea's Ethereum, basically, right? So plenty of reasons to be excited about Icon. Elastos. Elastos is very interesting, right? I've expressed a few of my concerns about the project, but cannot overlook this World Economic Forum connection. Not everyone gets to be partnered with them, but they got chosen to work with them on a few of their governing boards, essentially with major companies. So they're going to be working side by side with a lot of major partnerships. The only crypto companies over there working with the World Economic Forum besides them is Ripple, Ethereum, Hedera Hashgraph, stuff that's all in my portfolio, right? And then QuantStamp. That might be it. But yeah, so I've talked about Elastos a lot. Just very intriguing to me that they got this selection over there. And also, people are asking in my Discord, if you haven't joined that already, go ahead and jump in there. I just wanted to know exactly what's going on with it. Right now, it has Ethereum and Neo sidechains. People were asking, can it have more? Well, Elastos. So every successful product on Ethereum, Polkadot, Solana, EOS, Tron, and others could be port over or be recreated to Elastos, right? So if you're a developer, you could just go copy paste some open source code onto the Elastos sidechains, and you could recreate an Ethereum project such as Uniswap that has ridiculously high fees on the Ethereum sidechain, and it would no longer have those fees because it would be a proof of stake sidechain. But yes, all of these projects can be port over. Almost any coding language in existence can run on Elastos, right? An example, the Neo sidechain has smart contracts in C++, Python, Java, Kotlin, and then of course NEP5 tokens. Then for Ethereum, Solidity, Viper, Serpent, and ERC20s and ERC721s can all run on the Elastos main chain as sidechain. All right. Not only that, all these projects are merge mined with Bitcoin, right? So the idea is to take the massive hash rate of Bitcoin and then connect it in a serverless internet infrastructure, basically a network operating system connecting all the side chains of all the other virtual machines to the Bitcoin blockchain. It's a very complex project, hard for probably anyone to understand, but like I said, the only concern of mine is this proof of work being at the center of it all. I don't really like that, but we'll see what plays out. It's another one of those that's worth a shot on. All right, so lastly, Builda in the portfolio. So just going to briefly show you the coin market cap description because this talks about basically everything I need to say, right? So Builda is the world's first Hiko-based cross-chain lending DeFi project, and it's in the Huobi ecosystem, partnered with Filecoin, Huobi, and Elastos. And the total value of deposits and loans on the Builda platform has peaked over 370 million US dollars. And some other highlights: the Builda project has no fundraising, no pre-mining, and is committed to become Hiko's preferred user-friendly DeFi loan platform. So as you've seen with Binance Smart Chain, right? You're seeing a lot of moving over there now with DeFi projects because everyone wants to get away from the fees on Ethereum. They're just ridiculous, right? So Binance is the largest exchange, while Huobi in this Builda ecosystem is the second largest exchange by volume. So Builda is going to get listed on Huobi. When it does, I expect the price to skyrocket because a lot of people don't know about this DeFi ecosystem being built with Huobi. So that's what Builda does. Be similar to like the Pancake Swap and all that crap on Binance Smart Chain. So, but Builda is very reputable. All right, that should do it. Other than the last ones, like I said, Not overthinking those. I threw at some shots in the dark on Coinbase custody at some tiny market caps. And BitTrue, most of the major exchanges, BitTrue's pretty far up there as far as volume, but their token is only 5 million market cap, whereas all these other exchanges have tokens valued in the billions. So to me, it's worth a shot to just have some, right? That's my portfolio update. This ecosystem moves so fast that you have to continue to adjust accordingly. But I feel really comfortable with where I sit. And quite honestly with you, the reason XRP, Stellar, XDC, HBAR, Algorand, all these are in my portfolio towards the top is because they all focus on KYC and compliance and being carbon neutral, right? Because that's the story they keep giving us. And at the end of the day, if you haven't used these blockchain yet, try sending from an exchange to your wallet or wallet to wallet. You'll see how much more efficient they are. And I don't care if people want to argue about this decentralization crap. Okay, you say what you want. Bitcoin's not decentralized either. I mean, you can account for the majority of the coins themselves being held by a few people, and then the mining is centralized in China, and China's threatening to start banning the mining. So what happens? You know, we'll see. But at the end of the day, utility will win, and so will compliant projects. That's what I think, and that's why these sit at the top. Hope that was informative. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.
Paper money is going away.
Yes.
And crypto is a far better way to transfer value than pieces of paper. That's for sure.
Without a doubt.
That has its pros and cons.
Just to clarify, Tesla's not going to start selling Bitcoin anytime soon.
No, we're not.
Okay, you heard it here first, even though everyone thought that.
Yeah, right.